Welcome back, everyone, to Merge Conflict, your weekly developer podcast where we develop. I'm James. That's Frank over there. I'm a little bit cool. He's a little bit warm. And this episode is all about a bunch of spiciness. How's it going, Frank?
That's right. Boy, hot, cool, warm, none of those mean anything because if you look at the color temperature of cameras, they're actually opposite. Cool colors are high temperature. Warm colors are low temperature. Spicy food is hot, even though it's not. You could have cold spicy food. What does anything mean in this world? Wonderful to see you, James.
You hate my lighting, Frank. If you're watching on YouTube, I usually set it relatively. I'm not a video person, right? I'd have to call up Cameron and be like, hey, so I'm usually rock like a good 5,200 Kelvins, 5,000 Kelvins.
Oh, hot in here.
but I set it down to 34% brightness, right? So if I set that, I'm at 34, but if I'm all the way up to 100, it's like, wow, it's like real. But then
it's like you're up on in an airplane.
Yeah. So I don't know if people have recommendations for me. I would love that. I have two Elgato key lights, a left and a right pointed at me over here. And then I have obviously pure white walls pretty much that are eggshell. I think they're eggshell. Yeah. And that's kind of where I leave it. I don't know. I do feel like I'm a little bit paler than I should be, like in real life. I think I have a little tan.
I call it the Severance look. No, what you got to do for the full movie effect is you need one really cool, one really hot. Then you get the blue and the orange. You get your oranges and your teals. You get both in the same shot. And then if you want to go full Hollywood, you just have to have a purple light like blasting you from the top. And then it looks like stage lighting.
How's that?
It's definitely not what we're used to.
So that would be like one really warm and one cool.
Yeah, it's not quite dramatic enough, but yeah, it's stage lighting is so strange. Like when you watch the high production YouTubes, people have so many colors mixed in there. It's kind of crazy, honestly. I think I watch a lot of Corridor Crew, and they have like high, strong purple lights along with green lights shining on them. I'm just like, I'm not willing to go there. Nope, not doing it.
Well, if anyone has any recommendations or wants to hop on
I like this.
Like this?
I like what you just did. Yeah, you're looking good. You got some specular over on your left. Looking good, James.
The walls are no longer white, which is what they are. But so what I just did is my left light over here is they're both at a very low percentage. So both of them are at about 10% brightness. There's like 10% brightness. We're getting moody. But the left light is 100% warm at 2,900, and the right, this one, is 100% cool at 7,000.
That's what I'm talking about. But contrast, baby. That's what makes things look good.
Yeah, we could play around with it. All right, let's get into this week's topic that I picked out for us. What is a work tree?
What is a work tree? Is that what you put your shoes on so they don't get smelly? I need one. Excuse me, my friend needs one. Their boots keep getting smelly. I think they need a work tree.
No, it's not a tree that goes to work for you. No, we're talking about a get work tree.
Oh, okay. I feel like I should know this.
Is this? Wait, hold on. Before you even say anything.
Okay.
The reason that we're doing this episode is that we're at a pivotal point for Git and how we build software on our local machine, because Git work trees, in my personal opinion, have never been really that important until now, until a month ago or 2 months ago. And these agentic developer tools started to integrate work trees into it, but no one knows what a work tree is. So I want to talk about what a work tree is and then why you want to use it. And Frank doesn't even know what a work tree is.
We're doing an education episode. Yes. I feel like, am I wrong? Isn't this just like the staging time? So like you have your commits, you got your branches. Those are very understandable. And then you're doing some edits and you're like, get add. Isn't it added to the work tree? Am I crazy? Isn't that what the work tree is? Or am I crazy? Nope, completely off. Okay. Is this some feature they added to Git like 3 years ago and no one paid attention to? Is that closer?
When was work tree added to Git? Git work trees. Hold on, Copilot is spinning up here. It was added in 2015.
10 years ago. Okay, so I'm a little bit slow to catching up.
Well,
fair enough.
If you think of a work tree like this, when you clone a repo, Frank said it correct, you have a branch.
Sure.
You also have, let's say, in all intents and purposes, a work tree, right? Like you have one work tree and you have branches off of that one work tree. Okay.
Fair. I mean, what you really have is a hierarchy of commits, and a branch is just a pointer to one of those commits.
Correct.
I prefer to keep it in simple database terms. Branches are pointers, and the rest is just a tree of commits.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now, let's say you wanted Frank to work on 2 branches at the same time.
Nope.
On your
Not
machine.
gonna happen. Never. I do this sometimes, and then I just forget about the other branch and it goes away. The other way I do it is I just make a second clone of the repo and out of a separate directory, because that's how sophisticated I am. That's how I keep things straight. Oh boy. Yeah, I mean, I would just do 2 different branches. That's what I would do. If I'm working on 2 different things, 2 different branches.
Just
that's how
toggle between them.
Toggle as in type git checkout, because I still rock the command line. I to this day I still don't trust any git GUI stuff at all. Full stop. Period. Visual Studio, VS Code, get out of here. I'm command line only.
Yep. Okay. So this makes sense. Okay. So when is there a case where you'd want to have multiple branches checked out at the same time on your machine? And the only way to really do this, yes, constantly. A/B testing, A/B testing.
Yeah, sure. Working on 2 different things. Like I'm working on a feature right now, and a bug report comes in from a user, and I need to work on that bug. You switch back to main, do a new branch off of main, work on that bug there. Later on, you're going to have to deal with the wonderful merge conflict that inevitably comes up. But that is the Git life, merge conflicting.
Yeah. So there's that reason. You might want to, like I said, A/B tests. You might, want to be working on a feature and a bug, something come up. You don't want to, like, often you're working on a feature, like you said, a bug comes up. You don't want to like mux that together. So there's 2 ways of doing it. Frank described it. One, I think the worst part, in my personal opinion, is let's say you're working on code and you're like, I got to go fix that. I got a critical bug. My boss is like, go do this thing. Do you stash it?
No.
Stash it?
Never stash.
You committed, I guess.
I live the no stash life. It's funny though, because a coworker of mine stashes everything, and it just freaks me out, because like there's nothing keeping that stash alive, nothing at all. Just the whims of whoever implemented Git. I guess you could say that for all of Git, but I feel so much better when there's actual commits. I hate stashes. Commit that puppy. Create a new branch if you have to. Commit that puppy.
Yep. So that's fascinating. Heather is a stasher. She's
a stasher.
She's like, oh, let me just stash that. I was like, oh,
that's a personality test. I feel like, we should just at every conference ask someone stash or commit.
Yeah, spaces are tabs, and I do think it's really fascinating to think about that, because you have to do 1 of 2 things to be able to do that. You have to either commit or stash, and then switch contexts, go over here. Hope your IDE responds to stuff. You haven't made that many drastic changes. Close the thing, reopen it. The other thing is, you said it earlier, which is the thing I used to do all the time, which is I would just copy the folder.
Yeah, baby.
Clone it. So I'd have my app copy 1, and then guess what? That entire clone of the folder is now is ready to go. It's like, hey, let's do this, and it sounds off to the races.
Sometimes I just declare Git bankruptcy sometimes too. When I've under 2 conditions, I've totally screwed up a commit. Like usually it's a partial rebase or something where I've just created an absolute disaster, and that's when I'll create I'll just go bankrupt. I call it Git bankruptcy, and you just start with a fresh clone. I think the other time is is just when you're getting too many local branches and you don't want to push them up. And I'm just getting nervous. Like I'll I'll go so far as like, say I'm like code reviewing someone else's PR. Sometimes I'll have a separate directory just for PRs because I don't want them to mess with my main one or mix in a bunch of weirdo branches into my local stuff.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I think this has been one of the biggest problems. I think honestly, probably because of just tooling and or lack of knowledge of the feature. I hadn't really ever been introduced to work trees at all up
Mhm.
until a few months ago when the ability to manage work trees landed in VS Code.
Oh,
I
okay.
actually interviewed the engineer that worked on it for the VS Code Insiders podcast, vscodepodcast.com. You can go check that out. But it landed this summer, I want to say, inside. And I was like, well, I guess I need to figure out what it is. Well, let me tell you what it is, Frank. Work
Oh,
trees.
I'm excited. Okay.
Work
What
trees,
is it?
they allow you to check out multiple branches simultaneously on your local machine.
Insanity.
How does this work? And I'm glad you asked. What they do is for all intents and purposes, it's doing the thing that I just kind of talked about. Is it is making a copy of the source code of a branch that you specify and putting it in another folder. So if you have my app, that's the folder.
Mhm.
You would in the root. So say you have c/my app. You say, let me create a work tree. You can specify the work tree of any branch you would like to create it off of. So you might have a work tree off of main, which is called experimental or experiment 1, experiment 2, experiment 3. You might have one called hotfix, GitHub, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
It's basically you're creating you're going to create a work tree off of a branch with a branch name. So
Okay.
all you're doing is creating a branch off a branch, but you're saying that this is a work tree, not a standard branch. Okay.
But you usually start with a branch. That's usually your starting point for a work tree.
You can do it off of main. Main's fine.
Sorry, main is a branch. Main's
Main
just
is a
the name
branch.
of the first.
Got
Yeah, it's all branches all the way down.
Yeah, it's all the way down. Exactly. Now you might be saying like, "Hey, I know I'm going to work on this feature." So let's say you have like login redesign. So
Mhm.
normally you're like, "Okay, I have login redesign." And then you're like, "I'm going to get to work." Well, actually, I want to have like 3 different designs. So what I'm going
Mm.
to have then is I'm going to create 3 work trees
Okay.
off of redesign and call it redesign 1, redesign 2, redesign 3. I can open up all 3 of those in different instances of VS Code and be working on all 3 of them at the same time. And then I
Great,
can
great.
merge that work tree back into the branch that it was created off of.
Oh
Okay.
boy. Okay, where to even begin?
Well, let
Okay.
me tell you how it works. Let me tell you how it works. So when you
Okay.
do this, Frank Kruger, it
Uh-huh.
will create another folder called,
Uh,
my app.worktrees and then create the work trees in that folder. So they're nicely
okay.
organized in a separate folder between them. Okay. Now,
Okay.
when you go into VS Code, you go into VS Code, you can do it alongside with me. Go into VS Code,
All right.
go in, go, yep. Okay.
I'm in it.
You're in it. Okay. Go into your source control. That's the little thing that looks like a little branch. Okay.
Mhm. Love it.
See up top, you have source control. Do you have
Mhm.
repository changes and graph?
Let me open a project. That's probably going to be helpful for this experiment.
Step 1, open said project.
Okay, I have changes, and graph.
Cool.
Hmm,
So
did
go
that
up to the
help?
triple dot under source control and check
Aha.
repositories.
Oh,
Okay.
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 Still not finding it, James, but okay.
The repositories just says repositories. Source control, there's a triple dot on the very top.
Nope. Pull, push, clone, checkout to, fetch, commit, changes,
Nope.
pull, push,
Nope.
branch,
One up.
remote.
You got to go higher. Source control.
So high. Oh my. Well, see. Okay, look. I'm gonna blame VS Code for this. There's at least 6 different 3 dot things on my
All the way to the
computer. I
top.
found it, James. Repositories.
Repositories.
Okay,
Okay.
got it.
Then you see the name of your app. It looks like there's a little book there. You're on a branch. There's a little spinny
Mhm.
icon. There's a little create a pull
A little
request
cloud for
icon.
me. Yeah,
Then
it's
there's a
cute.
then there's a triple dot, more
Of
action.
course there is.
This is your pull, push, clone, checkout, fetch. Okay.
Yeah.
Work trees. Create work tree.
Oh my god. What's gonna happen? Okay, there's a dot
So
dot dot after it, so it better bring up a dialog box.
pick a branch.
Ooh, it brought up the only dialog box VS Code has.
Yep.
So I pick a branch, or
Yeah,
should I
just pick a
create a new branch? Ooh.
you can do either.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna pick a branch, James. I'm gonna pick main because that's how I roll.
Yep.
It says branch main is already checked out in the current repository. Create new branch. All
Oh yeah, I
right,
guess you
fine.
do
I'll
need to do it
create
off
a
a
new
branch.
branch.
Okay.
Okay, they want a
Call
new
it new
branch. I'm gonna call
branch.
it James because that's a good name for a
Calling
branch.
mine Frank. Yes, I guess you need to have a branch and then it puts it in the branch name. Okay, so then it's going to ask you where you want to put it.
And it is putting it in so uh, project name dot work trees. So it's like it's a new top level directory though, which is kind of interesting. So it's not like a dot work trees directory in the directory. It's a whole nother directory.
Yeah,
Fascinating.
and I think what was happening there when we were selecting main, I think we are creating this new work tree off of main because it's like the thing that we currently have checked out. I'm pretty sure. I
Okay.
think. Yeah.
Well, I have a thing called James now.
You
I'm
do.
now scouring my computer to figure out what it's done. Okay, so it did create a whole new top level directory. So let's say my project was called project. There's now a new folder called project.worktrees, not project/.worktrees,
Correct.
project.worktrees. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But and then there's a /James under that.
Yep.
Fascinating.
So
Okay.
what has happened here, for all intents and purposes, is that when you call get init or get clone, that's going to create your main work tree, which is what we're working off of. But this has just created a new linked work tree. So a repository has one main work tree. It's the one in the repo, and usually 0 linked work trees. So now you have a linked work tree. So now you have a linked work tree and it's there, and now you can work off of it, and you can create more work trees. So if you wanted to, you can have James 1, James 2, James 5, James 10. And here's
Oh,
the cool
I'm doing
part.
it.
Now, what I want you to realize, though, in your VS Code, you're still on main, Frank. Look in your bottom left.
I guess I don't even know what I'm on, man. I am in a
No,
new universe. It feels like.
no, you're in bottom left. You're in bottom left. Bottom left. See, it says main.
It does say main. I'll
Okay.
grant you that.
So go to the James work tree under changes, or even actually under repositories. You see
Mm-hmm.
your project, then James branch. Go
Yeah.
to the triple dot dot dot.
But is it a branch? It is a
It
branch.
is a branch. Then you can go to
Okay.
work trees and you can say open work tree in a new window, and you'll get a new
Aha.
VS Code with that branch of the work tree that is on your machine.
That totally
Okay.
worked.
Yes.
That did work. I'll admit that
Yep.
worked.
So now you have 2 VS Codes. Put them side by side, people.
I
So on
did.
the left, you have main, and on the right, you have James. Okay. Now
Can I
go
tell you
into your
something I
README.
like already? Sorry,
Go ahead.
just to interrupt you. I keep a lot of files in my projects that aren't actually a part of Git because that's how I
Mm,
roll.
yeah.
This was fun because this did the kind of thing I was talking about before when you get too many files in your Git and you just want to clean one and you like do a reclone of it. Because
Yeah.
obviously when it created this James work tree thing, it only brought over the Git controlled files, nothing else. So it was
Correct.
actually kind of a fun, quick way to just see not the garbage that I
Not the
normally all
garbage.
the detritus that I keep
Yeah.
around in my directories.
Yep.
So I like that part already.
So now here, if you go to your James branch that you've created,
Mm-hmm.
go to your README and just update the README to say James and
James
save it.
approved.
James
Yeah.
approved. Cool. Now,
Yeah.
what I want you to do is go back to your other repo, the other VS Code, which is on main,
Aha.
and
Yep.
then you can see there's changes. Okay. And then what you're able to do is now commit those changes to that branch on that machine, right?
I didn't change anything on my main.
No, you didn't. But see where it says changes and it has main and it has Frank or James underneath it?
Aha. I can do it there.
You
Fair
can do
enough.
it there. So you can do it in
Oh,
either.
right. Got it. Okay. Boy, this is not going to confuse me at all in the future. I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
But
Well,
it's
I'm
kind
not
of
kidding.
crazy, right? You now have 2
Yeah.
branches checked out at the same time where you can be working on 2 different problems.
Let's see how good
Okay.
their sync is. I am going to commit this, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Commit. Commit. I have a bug report already. I committed on the left window. Oh,
You got to
wait.
click
Nope. I
here.
got to do a commit message. Hi.
You might have to like hit the little refresh button on the other one, but okay.
Oh, no. When I switched back to the window, it updated the UI. So, okay. So you
Oh,
do have
perfect.
to do the little switchy switch. But yeah. Okay, that worked. That worked.
Okay.
It's still just in a branch though. So I to get some reassurance here, James, I just need to go at the command line, get branch list
Mhm.
to prove to myself what the heck is going on with this thing.
But you're in a
Okay.
you're in a work tree now, so remember that.
I don't know what that means, but okay. The branch is there. Fantastic. Okay. What happens if I go to the command line version of this new directory? I'm curious.
It's a good question. What does it say?
I am almost there. If you go into work trees, nothing. If you go into James, it looks like a Git directory.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating. Fascinating. And if you print the Git directory, nothing. Ooh, okay. The fascinating. The .git directory is not a directory. It's some fancy work tree thing.
It is a
Great.
work tree thing.
That's as far as I'm going to dig into that.
Correct. So it's like not only created that branch, but it's also created this work tree where that branch lives, right? So
Yeah.
think of it as basically it's a little confusing because the name of the work tree is Frank and then
Yeah.
your branch is Frank, but now your work tree can have multiple branches inside of it. Okay. And you can have multiple work trees as well
Yeah.
on it. And then ideally, the other thing that you can do is you want to get those changes in that work tree back into your main work tree. It's kind of like a flip of the script, which is like, hey, I have like a bunch of branches, but now I actually have like multiple work trees that have multiple branches that I'm working off of to put back into my actual main line work tree and
Yeah.
main
And
branch.
it's fascinating too because this work tree really is a special place. So the big
Mhm.
question I had was like, are the remotes the same and things like that? And as far as I can tell, the remotes are the same. So I don't even know how this Git file is actually pointing back to everything. It's honestly awfully confusing.
It's a little
I
confusing,
should
yeah.
say it's not awfully confusing. Conceptually, it's pretty simple. They made another directory with my repository, created a subdirectory for the start of that work tree. Fine, because I actually have two. I have James and James 2 now, so
Oh,
that's
nice.
fine. Um, it could get confusing, but I'd say this probably is better than me just cloning two different directories. That's the bar I'm measuring this against. I feel like because both of those can obviously be confusing. I'm feeling like this is probably better. I'm a
Yeah.
little more okay with this actually.
So here's exactly what happened. So when you create a work tree in Git, you're essentially telling Git, give me another working directory that's tied to the same repository, but checked out to a different branch or commit. So literally step by step, here's what's happening. A new directory, which you said, is specified. The directory looks like a normal Git working copy, but it doesn't have its own Git folder. Instead, it has a small .git file that points back to the main repository's object database. This is a huge thing which you just investigated, correct? Git
Yeah.
records in the work tree has its own internal metadata, which are inside.git/work trees. And this
Mm-hmm.
keeps track of which branches are checked out to which work trees, so you don't accidentally check out the same branch in two places. So what this allows you to do is work independently in that new directory, commit, merge, run tests. It behaves like a full repo checkout, but it shares
Yeah.
the underlying objects in the main repo. So why would you really want to do that, right? Like we said, it allows you to check out branch X in a work tree. And then, that way you don't have these like conflicts basically when you're doing work. And it also saves space because you're sharing the same object database. So you don't duplicate the entire repo. Because one of the problems is if you were to download VS Code and then you needed to work on two branches, it's like a gig each, right? But really, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of it is in that .git folder, so you save tons of that. So creating these work
Yeah.
trees gives you lightweight parallel workspaces, right? To keep your main spin up work trees for hot fixes, work on experiments that we don't have to worry about juggling stashes or clones or things like that in general.
Yeah, and I was just doing a tiny bit of investigation. So yeah, that .get is actually just a text file pointing back to an absolute path of the actual get slash sorry, the .get slash work tree. So yeah, it created a new little subfolder in .get. And it's interesting because that the work tree subfolder is very much like a .get, but it's because it has refs, it has head, it has index, it has logs. Who cares about logs? But it doesn't have objects. It doesn't have the actual data. So because it has a refs, like it is acting a lot like an actual Git checkout, but it's doing the magic so that the object database is shared. Really fascinating stuff, which really makes me think you can really hack around with this and put the work tree stuff anywhere on your computer.
Oh,
So long
totally.
as that, yeah, so long as that the .get file points back to the work trees subfolder of
Yep.
your .get. Yeah, not bad, not bad. But that also explains, I should say, there's no config file there. So that explains why the remotes are the same. I have to assume all the submodules would be the same. Submodules get a little bit weird though, so I'd like to see how it handles those exactly. But it looks like it's only really making a copy of head and refs, which are your pointers into the object database, into the commit database.
So now you'd be saying, I made these changes. How do I get them back into main? How do I get them back into my main work tree?
I assume it's sharing the refs folder. So if I merge something into the named main branch, it would just go there. Like I'm feeling like it's just going to rewrite the main ref, the main branch, to be the commit that I tell it to be. Is that it? Can I just say that? Can I just merge it on into a different branch?
I like, oh yeah, like could you take the work tree then merge it back into main? Maybe
Hmm.
in VS Code,
Okay, not
go to
the
the
recommended
command,
way. Okay.
go to the command palette up top,
Okay. Yeah.
and then do less or greater than, and then type in work tree, and you're going to see migrate work tree changes.
What? What does that mean? You're really blowing my
Um,
mind tonight, buddy. Oh, okay. You want to do this on the main repo side, it seems like.
oh yes, you need to do that on the main repo side. That is correct. Yeah, not on the actual.
Oh my god, it just created something called dirty taken. What does that mean? That's hilarious.
I think you might also have to. I don't think you have to publish it. Migrate work tree changes. Oh, I have mine says none are available, but the migrate should bring it back to it.
Oh, you know
Migrate.
what? I'm bad at following your directions. What I did instead was create work tree with defaults. And with
Mm.
defaults means it made up some random name, and the random name is terrible. It's called dirty hyphen taken.
Oh,
Terrible. Terrible get people. Let me try again, actually doing what you told me to do. Okay. Migrate work tree changes. Bam. Okay. Now I can say select a work tree to migrate changes from
from
James.
yeah into
And I don't know where they went, but that was it.
yeah.
There are no changes in the selected work tree to
Yeah.
migrate.
So
Fascinating.
like because we committed it, right? So then in that instance, you would publish and then merge and do all the stuff. But let's say you had
Mm.
a change that you didn't want to commit, and you're just like, oh, I want to move it back into the main or whatever. You can just move it around from work tree to work tree. We committed the
Okay.
code, so then like the code's in that branch. So I
Okay.
think in that instance, you would just merge the branch back in, like you're saying.
Right. Right.
You'd
Okay.
publish it,
I'm not going
merge
to
it,
do
it would
that
work.
because
Yeah.
I don't actually want a James approved commit into my
Correct.
main.
Correct.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
So the migrate changes allow you to say, I have these changes, I haven't committed them, but just like I want to put them back into my main now. So you can move them over without having to commit them to Git, because work trees are going to kind of just throw away anyways. So if you're just like, hey, I have all these changes, I tested them, push them on over basically. Does that make sense?
It does. And especially because it looks like even the head file for the work tree points back to the main ref heads, James.
Mm-hmm.
So I think all the merging stuff's just gonna work. If without me actually doing it,
Doing
just
that.
chasing around get pointers, it looks like it would do exactly as we would
Do that
expect.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So if you didn't want to go through the thing where like, oh, I'm merging, I'm doing this stuff, I'm on my machine. I'm like, I got these changes. They're looking good. Let me just put it, especially when you're working off a branch. So for example, you're
Hmm.
working off a branch, you have design. So you might, so in this instance, you're like, hey, I have, for example, redesign. I have redesign 1, 2, 3. Why go through the process of committing, merging into the branch, which is just going to be merged again into the branch? You just say, take all my changes that I have, move them over here, XYZ, handle merge conflicts, do a thing. So that works out pretty
Okay.
nice. Yeah. Without having to commit any code. So you can basically say
Yeah.
all my changes that are uncommitted right now, move them from one of the work trees back into, a branch without having to
Yeah.
commit.
And I'm starting to get a feel for this. Like, I was gonna say before when we were first starting out that like, a pro tip: if you need to get clone something, you don't always have to point at the remote.get file because then you have to download it all from the internet again. If you're ever cloning, pro tip, you can reference a local.get file and just clone from that docket. And it feels like this is doing basically that with the added benefit that it's sharing the object database, and obviously now it's sharing the refs database also. And that's kind of the freaky part because usually when you have two different dockets, you have two different sets of dot refs or slash refs.
Yeah.
Um, so this you could definitely shoot yourself in the foot with, but it's also obviously very powerful.
It can get a little funky. You have to kind of wrap your head around it. But why is this important? Well, Frank, you've updated your VS Code in the last 2 days.
I believe every time I start getting a bunch of tweets about Git doing something, I'm like, God, is there an update? And then I do the update.
Okay. So, open up your GitHub Copilot chat.
Oh, you're gonna? Oh no, I have to restart to update. It's
Okay,
gonna
restart
happen.
to update. It's gonna be quick. It's gonna be quick on here.
Yeah, yeah.
So the reason you're like I'm thinking about this before is, how often am I doing this, and why are work trees important?
Hmm.
And the answer is, it's been a nuisance to do what we just talked about, but because we didn't really need work trees, we're doing it very rarely. However, in the
Hmm.
world of AI, you
Mm,
are spinning up many experiments. You're spinning up a whole bunch of
fair enough.
ideas, and you have an idea and you just want to fire it off and let it do its thing and check it out on your local machine.
Right.
And you have to wait around,
Don't
right?
want to be cloning. I mean, you could. So the
You could,
alternative is you clone, 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 clone. So this is just a more efficient cloning technique in
correct.
that regard. Okay.
Well, and imagine that you have an agent like Copilot that's like, hey, let me go work on this in the background. And imagine if it had to clone the entire repository before it could get to work.
Right. Yep.
Again, into a new folder that you specified with a new branch.
Hmm.
Instead, it could leverage work trees.
And if you're a nut like me, I do all my Git work under a Dropbox folder. Insert your
Mm,
favorite document sharing
wild.
service here. It's kind of nice because then you have two backups of everything. Just saying, two history recorders. If I really mess up one, the other one can be kicked in. What's nice here is when I did my old do two clones of the same repo thing, there were a lot of duplicate files, especially for an
Yep.
old project because the object database basically. Um, this doesn't have that issue. It's sharing the object database, so it's actually very lightweight for my Dropbox. Like, probably should turn off my Dropbox when we're recording podcasts, and yet here I am verifying like the Dropbox is all caught up and everything because it has very few files to
That's true.
sync. Because it
Yep.
really just did a bunch of copies of a few files, and then it's just the ref files, and there's actually no ref files here. Basically, it's just a
It's
couple.
easy. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
this is
VS Code
very
open.
lightweight. VS Code open. Do you want me in the work tree or the main tree?
I don't. It doesn't even matter. Just main tree
Oh, I
probably.
okay, yeah, okay. Uh, what do you want me to do, James?
Okay. Open up the GitHub Copilot chat.
Uh-huh. It's
Okay.
always open. Come on, brother.
It's always open. Okay. Do you see the plus button? Then you see a little chev.
There's chefs everywhere. Yes. Plus new chat editor, new chat window.
New background agent.
No. Do I have to restart the update again? Oh, I
Don't think
do.
so.
That's
Oh,
hilarious. I was 2 behind.
wow.
One
Frank,
moment, please, James,
you
while
must
we restart to update.
you must close your VS Code.
Oh boy, did we get background agents? I feel like, oh my god, there's so many options now. New chat editor, new chat window. Those are classic.
Yeah,
New background agent, new cloud. Sorry for my pronunciation.
not Claude.
New
Like Claude.
codex agent. Excuse me, who are you? Codex.
That's
I don't
OpenAI
know.
Codex.
I'm lousy with agents here, man. Which
Okay.
agent do I want?
So let me define what these agents are. Actually, Kyle, the CEO of GitHub, did a great video that we'll link to in the show notes on the VS Code one that breaks it down. You basically have 3 types of agents. You have local agents and you have cloud agents. Now, local agents can run in one of 2 ways. A local agent can be in the foreground, which is what we're used to. You type into a chat and it does stuff locally, like in the foreground. You're waiting for it to complete, right? And locally on your machine. A background agent can work locally on your machine, but in the background. And it is just off doing a thing, kind of like a CLI that's hidden, if you will. In fact, it's powered by the CLI. Okay. You don't even have to the CLI, it's included in the thing. It's there. So that's pretty easy. So local and cloud. Local can be foreground, can be background. Pretty easy. Now, the interesting part is that the foreground and background agents can work on the branch that you're working on or another branch that you create or on a work tree, and they can even create a work tree. So you can be working as well. So what's important about this is Frank could be working on something, a bug report comes in, he's like, oh my God. And then what he does, he says, let me create a new background agent, put it on a work tree, go and do it and fix the bug, and it goes off and does it. Now, a cloud agent, obviously, is the third option. That is an agent that's running in the cloud, completely asynchronously, not on your machine. That is a GitHub Cloud agent, which I use all the time, right? And then Codex is also a foreground local agent, but it's powered by OpenAI Codex extension. But you're logging in through with your GitHub Copilot subscription. So you don't have to have an OpenAI account to use Codex, the extension. You just use your sweet premium requests. You sign in with Copilot. Like, you know, you sign in with Twitter, you sign in with Copilot and you use Codex. So OpenAI bills GitHub, you pay GitHub. So it's one less subscription. Okay. So
you had me all the way up to Codex. I totally don't get what the Codex one is, but fine.
So that one, you're not using the Copilot UI, you're using the Codex UI. So the Codex extension.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That makes a lot more. Okay. Oh, Sama, always trying to reinvent the wheel.
You remember when Xamarin was both a company and a product? Okay. Problem. So Codex, both an extension and also the name of the model. Very confusing.
Got it. Thank you. Okay.
Very confusing.
I'm never going to touch that. Thank
you. New background agent.
Let's do this. Okay. New background agent.
On the bottom, pick a model of your choice.
Done?
Now,
can I pick Codex?
Notice, Codex, 5.1 Codex. I've been 5x codexing. Now, notice that so interestingly, those ones that are available there are different than your main ones because those are the models that are available in the GitHub Copilot CLI, which powers background agents. Okay.
Right. This is background. Right. And
background.
Sorry, can you repeat one more time? Is background still local on my machine though? So if I were to pull the plug on my machine, background's going to stop.
That is correct. That is correct. You have local and cloud, and local can run in the foreground or in the background, and cloud runs in the cloud. In the cloud. Okay. You picked a model. Notice the next thing is work tree or workspace. And work tree is the default.
Why did they have to name them the same thing? Okay, fine. Work tree, workspace. Got it.
Workspace is your current workspace, basically, whatever branch you have open. So you can say work tree, and you can say, let's update this README with emoji. Why not?
I'm going to add more emoji to my autopilot rudder control system.
Perfect.
Which it really does not need emoji, but James, that is your example. That's what I'm doing.
Fire it off.
Created isolated work tree. Oh God, another work tree.
So now you have a work tree called work tree 2025-12- whatever.
It's true. It's true. I do.
It's in the future.
Where is it though?
That's
Because I'm
UTC.
still on my James. Oh no, I don't know where I am, James. Where am I? Where am I?
No.
I am going back to my main thing. Okay, there is indeed a new work tree.
Yep.
Named
So now when you go to your source tree, you'll have the James work tree and the work tree with a super long name. And then
which
you can
it
check
also
out that
created a branch with that same long name.
Yeah.
So it seems like work trees and branches, they're really kind of merging them a lot. But yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I feel like I think what's nice is you're like, hey, I'm in the James work tree and James is the default branch. That's kind of what it is. I think that way it's like main and master aren't the same basically.
Oh, fascinating. Even though I created a background though, it doesn't want me to close the window.
Oh, you can. It'd be fine. It'll just warn you. It's fine. It'll just
it's complaining, but you're saying it's fine, huh? It says the chat request will stop if you close the window.
I think it's going to be okay.
I'm not doing it. Too risky.
But you can hit the little back arrow. You can hit the little back arrow and it'll show you all of your sessions now. So.
Back arrow? What back arrow are you talking about?
Inside your chat agents. See how there's a little back arrow in the chat up top?
Nope.
Under chat, under the word chat, there's a little back arrow.
Is there?
Mine was already done. It was no time at all.
Yeah, you have a good internet. Yes, you are right. There indeed was a back arrow.
Yeah, so you can go back to all of your sessions.
As we like to say.
Now you can go back to all of your sessions. You can see all of your sessions that are there.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Now here's what's interesting. So let's say you're in just a local chat, and
now,
James,
what is it? It's added so many emojis.
Good, as it should have.
All your fault.
Yeah. So you can actually here's what's cool is you can actually go in and you can view the diff and all the stuff that's there and see everything, no matter where you're at, basically. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, James.
All the emoji.
There's emojis everywhere.
Yeah.
What did you do? What that was the worst example you could have possibly thought of.
You're in the work tree. You're in the work tree. Okay. You're in the work tree. It's fine.
Oh no, I'm committing right now. Upload, push.
So the cool thing is that you can do a few things, Frank. So you can obviously keep working on that background one that's there. Mm-hmm. Now let's say you're in a normal chat. So let's say you just create a new chat, new chat. Just go up there, new chat.
You are a gutsy guy.
It's a new chat. They're all fine. It's all running.
Okay. In my work tree, in my main window, in my
your main window.
I have so many copies of my code now.
Doesn't matter. Anywhere.
Okay. I'm here, babe.
So then you have a chat box down there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you could say @CLI or @cloud.
Okay.
And then you could delegate something there. But you could also type something and you could say, do something else, right? And then notice that you have a agent, you have a model, you have tools, you might have a microphone. You have now kind of 2 send buttons. See how there's 2 send buttons down there on the right? A little funky.
It is, yeah. One's a continue chat in, and there's a send.
So do the continue chat in.
Oh boy.
This is a few things that are interesting here. Is you might be working and have a bunch of files that are checked out already that you've been working on. You're like, you know what? I don't got time to finish this. You might want to delegate to the cloud or work in the background. You can take anything in a current chat session or just a new chat session and just say continue in and say background. And it will take all of your current changes, move them into a new background work tree, and just get to work on your behalf automatically. Or move it to the cloud.
Can I tell you why I like this, James?
Why do you like this, Frank?
Because I have been having one of those bad internet days where it feels like every chat I try to have with the AI, it's like network error. And then you might try something else, network error. I'm having a bad internet day. So I feel like if I had done update to restart to update earlier, I might have discovered that I could just move the whole gosh darn thing up into the cloud and just have it go there, because I'm assuming in the clouds the internet is always good up in the cloud. So I kind of wish you had told me about this about 5 hours ago. because I'm going to use the heck out of this whenever I'm having a bad internet day. I am going straight to the cloud.
Good. Yeah.
Is that what it's
That
for? Am I using it wrong?
No, that's correct. Yeah. I mean, I use so something I do for cloud agents specifically is I have the GitHub mobile app on my phone.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I just open my repo and there's a new task for the cloud agent, and you just tell it what you want it to do, and it just goes and creates a pull request for you, opens it up, and then just goes to town and works off of whatever branch you want it to do, right? Boom, just does it.
Yeah.
So one thing I do at the end of the day, every day, is I assign something to Copilot. I just give it to it. So I go into VS Code, I either spin up a new task for it to do, or I go into github.com or my mobile app, spin it up. And often before I go to bed, I also do that. So I'm always just spinning up stuff automatically, just because I can. Why not? Yeah. Or like in this case, you can just say, you know what? I have this feature. I don't know, whatever. Spin it up, put it in the background, let the cloud take it and handle it later. And just go to town. Yeah. It takes more time, right? Because it has time to do stuff, but the results are pretty better.
So I know we're mostly talking about work trees, so I'll ask the obvious question. When I do a cloud one, is it by default going to do a work tree stuff, or no? That's pretty explicit, I have to say. In that second drop down, as you explained earlier, you have to choose work tree when doing a background one or whatever.
For clouds, you can actually spin up a new cloud agent specifically, and there's actually no selections in there. So you are just giving it to it. It will work off the current branch that you're on.
Okay, fair enough. Yep.
So if you're on main, it'll be off of main.
So if I do a cloud one,
just a branch.
It'll eventually synchronize with the editor at some point then?
It will. Okay, so just go in to your main and just say, hey, update the README with a bunch of emoji. And fire it off to the cloud agent.
Emoji, James. No.
Yeah, do it.
This poor repo's already in such trash.
They're all in branches and work trees. They're all throwaways.
I care a lot about my code.
Burn a premium request. Let's do it. Come on.
All right, I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Yep.
I'm trying to find my README because I have so many junk files.
No, you don't even need to tell it. Just tell it. Tell it to update the README.
Okay.
Just tell it. It knows. It'll find it.
Please update my README
with sweet emoji.
README with sweet emoji.
Fire it off to the cloud, baby. You don't need to. It's going to spin up an entire
what
environment.
Tree is it going to work in? Which work tree? Which branch? Who knows? Let's just go. Okay, it's actually going to ask me. Delegate to the cloud agent, blah, blah, blah. This workspace has uncommitted changes. Speak of the devil. Should these changes be pushed and included in the cloud agent's work? No, it should not. And my options are commit changes and delegate, or cancel. I'm just going to hit delegate.
Delegate it.
Repo base branch is not detected on remote. That's because this isn't up on a remote. Okay, fair enough. Yes. So you want to be, you actually have to be synced to a remote to use the cloud.
Yes.
That makes sense.
So go to your main and then just tell it to go do the same thing.
Sure. Fine.
So we got to do it in real time. Right?
My poor source code. It's never going to survive any of this.
It'll be fine. You don't need to merge it into main. It's fine.
You just assume that I push everything up to the cloud. I get without the cloud sometimes, That's how I roll. Please add some sweet emojis.
I hope it's all sweet, like treats and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, God, it is going to do that, isn't it?
I think so.
Too late now. I hit enter.
Go.
It's creating a pull request. Okay.
It is.
So that's the world we're living in.
Yeah. So when you do a cloud agent, it's going to create a new branch off of your branch that you're on. And like you said, you were on the work tree before, which wasn't pushed up to the cloud, so it doesn't know what to do. It maybe should fail faster, in my personal opinion, but probably whatever the APIs are calling is there. So there's this that you can go and do. Now, inside of VS Code, under your all sessions, you should now see a new item, and you'll see that it says cloud. Like you see background and cloud and local. You see those items there.
It does. Yes. Okay. Yes. Cloud. Right.
And you can
session is initializing.
And you can click on it and it will open and tell you what it's doing.
Cloud agent has begun work. It's on a coffee break at the moment and it's demanding writes, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's going to spin up and do some stuff. Yeah. So
No,
now
it's cool. It's
if you
working.
go,
The
yeah,
poor
and then
thing is,
yeah,
it created a plan to add emojis to a README.
it
I'm
did.
sorry. I'm sorry. I feel like I need to apologize to it.
Now you can just stop it too if you really want to. Don't do it, but don't do it. It's actually, here's what's really fascinating about what you just did, Frank, is you actually spun up an entire Linux environment
Oh gosh, the poor
where your
thing.
code was cloned and is now running a GitHub action
Did I just
where
cause global warming, James?
I believe
Did
that
I
you are
do
the
that?
sole cause. That is correct. Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Mother Nature.
Uh, so
James made me do it.
So why is this important? This is important because you now have many ways of working with agents based on the type of work you need to do. You may not need to use background agents ever, but I find them pretty nifty and pretty fast to do certain things, especially experimenting. One of the things that you might think of doing is, you know what? I have this chart. Let's say you're creating a weight tracking application. You have a chart and you're like, you know what I really want is 5 different variants or 5 different styles or 5 different
Mm,
things. You could say, go create 5 branches and 5 work trees to go to this and spin it up. So you spin up 5 different, background agents that are just getting to work on your local machine, right?
yeah.
This is really cool because we've talked about running 2 foreground local agents before in different parts of the code, and that's okay too. But now you can have multiple background agents doing different things, and they could be experiments, they could be different variants, or they could just be different pieces of functionality, right? You could say, you know what, I want this background agent to go spin up all the APIs, and I'm going to work on the foreground over here, and do this here. I'm going to do the mock ones here, do whatever, and just kind of spin it up. Or like you said, work on a bug fix over here and do a feature while it's going. Or more importantly, maybe you're working on a bug and you have an idea for a feature, spin up a new background agent. Let's let it get to work, right? So,
Yeah.
and just like commits are free, pull requests are free, and also work trees are free. So everything's free and you can just throw them right away if you don't want them. So, um, I was just talking to John Lindquist at this AI Dev Days, and he was talking about critical thinking about how we use these different tools and how we use the CLI. And I was talking about these charts, and he's like, you know what? He's like, maybe you don't know how to display it, but tell it to come up with 10 unique ways and different styles and different charts and be creative with the data. He's like, you know what? Just tell it to create all 10 charts, put them on the screen, display all the data, and then let you pick about them. And then you refactor the code and you throw it away, right? It's like
Mhm.
you have the idea of like different critical ways of thinking with these models instead of just telling it to do stuff, tell it to come up with different things and display different data and create different work trees and work in the background and different things all at the same time. So work trees are a core piece of functionality anyone can use, but in integration, especially with background, tasks and agents, it's really fundamental there as well. So that's why it's kind of good to know. I think that the VS Code team or the GitHub team, I've talked to both of them, of like, we'll put out a very good like video on like what Git work trees are that don't take 53 minutes to describe. But I know that Primogen did a video like 5 years ago on Git work trees, and I think it was good, but it didn't really, that was pre AI. So it's kind of like, cool, Git work trees are cool. Why would I use this, type of thing. And then now we have like, not just why would I use it, but the tooling is literally helping you create them, use them, spin them up automatically. Like seeing the background agent create that work tree for you automatically. You don't have to think about it. Boom, it's right there in the UI. Boom, you can bring those over. You can merge it back in. Bingo, bango, you're good to go. So,
Yeah. I've said a lot of things about it all. I'm not going to take any of it back. I'm not sure if I will use the work trees myself too much, except for in those critical situations. But I can totally see myself using background agents and thus work trees just to
yeah,
keep it all organized. So I totally see that use case. But I really appreciate the cloud one too, because unlike you, I don't always think to go first into GitHub to do these kinds of things. So it's nice to just remember that it's sitting there behind the little chevron next to the plus sign, and I can
it's
always
right
get a
there.
cloud one up. I'm never touching the Codex one. I have no idea what that is. James, I want to report back. This is very important. It did not put only candy and sweet themed emojis into my README. It did flood my README with emojis, but they are of all sorts, not just candy related. So I'm not sure if it followed my directions explicitly, but I think it understood the gist of what we needed there. So, honestly, I was gonna revert this change. I think I might just keep it. There's a lot of emojis.
Means you're doing something right. So
Terrible. Absolutely terrible. These are cool features. I'm really glad you introduced them to me, and I can't believe it took me 10 years to learn what sounds like a pretty major Git feature. So thank you for the intro to Git lesson today also.
you are very welcome. I'm glad I could teach you something, but I also just found out about them this year. So no shade on anyone that's just learning about work trees for the first time. However, because of this new VS Code release and background and these things going in there, I think there is a pretty nice large education to be had on them. And I don't even know if I did the best job. So let us know if we got this right, wrong. Leave comments on youtube.com at Merge Conflict FM. That is us. If you're there, then you're already watching us. So you should definitely subscribe. Like, if you're listening, you can also do that because you're probably also listening on your favorite podcast app. So make sure you also hit that subscribe button and share with your friends and coworkers. That's going to do it for this week's Merge Conflict. Let's go ahead and get our work tree spinning. So until next time, I'm James Montemagno.
And I'm Frank Kruger. Thanks for watching and listening.
Peace.